Hello. Just turn that on, and hopefully I can go live on this other ones. Let's gotta do something else here real quick. Maybe not. I don't know. Does this one work? If it does, awesome. I don't think so. I should be okay. Hit that. And there you go. Right. So I'm live on most platforms. I was doing Instagram too, but it just wasn't working for whatever reason. It just wasn't. So last time I don't know, I felt like I wanted to explain some stuff about drawing, and that's a lot of what I do on my channel, and hopefully in the future more art stuff. I just turn this off so I can see the frame correctly. So I was thinking of talking about something that I haven't. Well, I have, but nobody watched that video. If you want to watch it, you can see it on my channel. Basically, when I was learning how to draw, like studying illustration in a more professional setting or capacity, one of the things they teach you is a really technical way of approaching any drawing. So let me see. I should. It's fine. So what I wanted to talk about is that to draw anything, like let's say, what can I draw from here? That let's say I'm going to draw my capybara, my chigüire character that I made into a sculpture, right? So if I want to draw it in a really technical way, I can start with a box. Just a three-dimensional box. Say that this would be the back of that box, right? And if I want to start breaking it down into different parts, I can divide this into two. This would be the head, right? Let's say this is the head, and it would be contained within that. If you can see this here, if I project this line, it's a little bit on an angle, so this would be a side view of the character. If I project a line, you would have something like that, right? And if I want to keep the ears within the box, I could extend a little bit, but this is for an example. Let's say this is the nose. It's a little bit wider on the near the base. So if I take that into account here, it would go on an angle sort of like that. Let's say something like that. If I look at it from above, let's divide this into two. This would be the midline, right? Project this dotted line, and this helps a lot. Think about a drawing in 3 dimensions. So, and if I project this line, the side of the nose, it would be something like so. Of course, you have the eyes, but let's do this on an angle. This gets wider near the back side of the head. So let's say something like so, and it also goes on an angle here. So we can measure kind of where the eyes are. So if I divide this is a little bit, the eyes are more towards the back, so beyond the half point. So it would be like the eyes would be like somewhere there. Project this line. And I can extend the ears. I guess I can construct this too, but let's say that there's some form of box here, but it's on an angle. So kind of see the box there, right? So, and you can start to see like the lower area of the character has a curve because it's not fully square. So you would have a curve here, something like that. Kinda. Let's see. Actually, it would go a little bit because it's larger. So the back of the character would extend a little bit more. I have to extend this a little bit. And the front as well has, like if I contain it within this, you would have another curve. Something that I haven't mentioned, but it's kind of the basics of this idea, is that if you're gonna draw a box, as I said, to make it into, like, let's say you have a curve within that, you can divide that box into 4 and get kind of it's not the best example, but get the center of it, right? Something like that. And if you make a curve corner to corner to corner, you have a circle. So let's say you want to draw a cone, you just project this line here and this line here up to the other side, and you do the same thing with the back side, like just project those lines, and you should have a curve that coincides with what you're trying to draw. So if I that's not the best, but if I erase those, you can see that what is left is your cone. So you can build anything from those basic blocks, construction blocks. That's a really technical way of drawing anything. So you just have to keep breaking stuff down. Like if I want to build a nose, maybe like something like that, and it gets like to here, something like so. And as I said, the eyes are behind that line. They're also a little bit lower, so you can mark it on the side view, and well, if I want to really get into detail, I don't need it because I kind of have this framework in my mind all the time. But if I really want to translate what I just mentioned, I can draw a box here for the eye. Let's say it extrudes a little bit. So if I want to draw the circle of the eye, maybe that's not the best because it would be like to here, but let's say it's that. So if I divide that, as I said, have this here, and I project that, that would be the full eye. But this is a semisphere, right? So you would only have like, because you wouldn't have a line there. You would have just this. What is left is kind of from here. Like you would have a circle here on the base, and you have sort of a semisphere. But it also has the top of the eyelash. Would be the eyelash. So let's say something like this, right? So just by doing that, which with everything that you want to draw, you can draw anything. You don't need to think that much if you want to draw like this in this technical way. This is a great way to, when you're designing, like if you're doing a concept art, let's say you want to draw a ship, a spaceship, or something like that. This is a great way to do it. So divide this, divide this, divide this, and I have this curve. But it also, in this case, it's not full circle, it's just half circle, and then I'd have kind of a line there. So it's kind of a semicone deformed in a way. Which one am I going for now? So I have this line, which makes it really easy for me to just clean that up, and I already have kind of where the mouth is for my chihuire, capybara, however you want to call it. And if I want to clean it a little bit more, I can sort of do that. I also have like the arms here I kind of made a mistake. It should be like there. You can see it in 3D. That way you can sort of see what I'm trying to use as my guidelines. And you can add, after you have the framework that you're looking for, you can just add detail after. Like, let's say, have the nose there, and kind of the hair. And this idea applies to anything. As I said, you can draw any object you want, turn it into a three-dimensional object fairly easy, and it's gonna look good. If you're really dedicated to the process, you can get to a really nice result. So, yeah. Gracias. Thank you, TC. Appreciate it. So you can start, as I said, with a simple box, and you can turn it into whatever you would like for it to be. And the good thing about it is that you can play with perspective. Let's say those are that's, uh, that's the wrong placement for this because it doesn't show up. There we go. So let's say you have 2-point perspective. If I project the lines, I can do something like that, and it allows you to play around with the angle that you're trying to add to your drawing. So you can move that however you would like. So yeah, that's the easiest way I know how to draw a circle. You just have to do this, do this, do that, and once you have that, you just curve here, curve here, curve here, and curve here. It's not perfect because I didn't draw a perfect box, but you can perfection it, like make it super clean. And after a while, you can do it without yeah. So that's that. I hope that helps whoever is watching. uh, just put my capybara there. Okay, because he's supposed to be in the water, so let's add the water. Chihuire. Yeah. Let's clean this here. this as just a wrong spot. But you can sort of get the idea. Anyhow, I think that works as a warm up. If I want to add something else here, just move this a little bit. You can definitely apply, as I said, this to anything. So if you want to draw a head, you can start. If you want to do like a really technical thing, you can start with a box. And start dividing it into the areas that you need. So you need that. Let's divide this here in half, and this would be like midpoint of the face or the head. Sorry, I just don't want to. I'm messing up because I'm not putting the whole arm on top of the board. So let's say you have this. I'm trying to think about this a little bit because it's the head. It's more like an egg shape. You can see it there. So in this case, let's say I think it still works even if it's a rectangle. I want to divide it more so I would have the right curve. See? And in this case, if you see it from the front, we have sort of a taper, a little bit of a taper. That's a terrible drawing. But say you have this for the sake of this example. Maybe a little bit to exaggerate it. And it would widen because if you see it from the top view, it would have like something like that. So it wouldn't be exact. We get to around here and say I divide that. No, it should be even more. So like to there. And to this point you can add the ear to the side. I'm having issues with the freaking board. Let's just make this line here. Project this. There should be a curve here too. so it connects to that, but it also has a curvature. The eyes, like last time I was talking that this line goes above your ear for a little bit. So let's say that this would be that line. The eye would go a little bit beyond that. You have the nose too. That I think it should go a little bit further down. Really, there's a lot of measurements about this online if you want to check that out. But yeah, like if I divide it into two, like, and you can use yourself as a reference at all times. So let's say it kind of coincides. Yeah, the lower part of the ear. So this part of the nose would coincide somewhat to the ear, I guess, unless someone has a huge ear. And the mouth would be like, if this is the nose, the mouth would be between the measurement between these 2 points. So here, right? Of course, there's a curve that goes here. I might have to clean this up after, but and as I said, if you see on an angle, we have this indentation where our eye socket goes. So you would have a little bit of a indentation there. And all these proportions shift from person to person. This is also on an angle, so it would be actually higher. So a way to think about it is that you're trying to, let's say you're using clay to make something, and you're trying to carve out what you need, or yeah, some form of material. This would be the neck. This is exaggerated neck, but let's say it starts there. The nose would be kind of a triangle that you project, right? Kind of like something like that. And though, like the eye socket goes further inside, so you would have something like that. And this measurement also changes. But as I said, you have the mouse. The mouth should go in the middle of this measurement. The ear should go like to here, and if this is the eyebrow, that would be the ear. Hope that makes sense. And so if I want to make this in 3D, it would extrude. Like this is the bridge of the nose, and let's say you have a triangle there. So I'm building my Frankenstein character there. And the eye. Let's project the edges of the nose upwards, and that kind of gives you the measurement for the eye, the beginning of the eye. So you have this sort of structure. It's kind of a weird face, but you kind of get what I'm trying to convey. Hopefully, it hopefully helps you out if you're learning. For those of you that already know how to draw, you like normally you don't draw this kind of thing like this, but you can do it if you really want to. And I talked about the box, but in this case, like your forehead would also have an extrusion, and I didn't measure that properly. So a lot of what you're doing when you're drawing is adjusting measurements. So I'm trying to just project the curvature of the head across to the other side. I hope that is shown. Yeah. But that's kind of the idea. Uh, yeah. I do tend to think more like a sculptor because that's what I did when I was growing up all the time. So this for me is kind of simple to understand, but yeah, if it's like too convoluted, you can have different approaches. It doesn't have to be this technical approach, and I think it has a place. If you want to make something really fluid and like let's say a gesture, this method it's probably not gonna work properly for you because it this is more for technical stuff like I don't know, like let's say you want to design a controller, then you can do it really easy, like draw that really easy that using this method. So for that sort of thing, also architectural drawing, it also works. Uh, if it's something that you want to try for yourself. Um, but yeah. Anyhow, let's just move on from this. Just gonna draw something else. There you go. So, 35 minutes. Not too bad. Mm, okay. This over there. I don't know what else I'm going to draw today, but we'll see. Also, if you want to see what I just did, it's gonna be on my channel. All the streams I do, I add them there. So yeah, you can check it out if you wanna rewatch something I did. Mm, really liking this brush pen. If I want to draw with it. What should I do now? What should I draw? I was drawing muses before. Mm. Self-portrait. Done this drawing a lot of times, but yeah. I guess I end up drawing this when I cannot think about something. Hello. Hi. How's it going? How are you? Oh, good. All things considered. I was wondering, like, I, I hope I hope she's okay, because you were gone for a few days. So I was like, oh, I hope it's all good with all the stuff that she was mentioning on the other streams. Anyhow, try to do the headphone. Maybe, I don't know. Eh, just I think you could say it's a self-portrait. Oh, that's that's terrible. Like, having to do that. Like, I'll start just like blocking people, and if I figure out who it is, I just I'll probably uh, file a restraining order and charges, basically. Yeah, this is out of context, but we're talking about some kind of serious stuff. Oh, that's funny. Give me just a second. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a few of my own. Well, I hope you're doing well and everything's cool. And just be mindful out there. Uh, that's funny. This is this is kind of weird, but anyway. It's not it's not transferring, which is good. Oh, thank you. Uh, I try to do the best I can. Although I feel not always am I successful at it. And I forgot to add the other hand. Yeah. Should have left it as is. Just eh, I'm still working on it, but I think all the sketches I've done has helped me kind of solidify more my style and what I like to do. So hopefully I'll be able to just keep going with that. Also, I think I have like a copycat or something. I don't wanna get too much into it because if somebody gets it out of context, they might get the wrong impression. But I think I might have a copycat. I was talking about it the other day, but anyway, could be nothing. Could be just convergence. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the times, I just don't trust uh, certain things. Like uh, maybe that's the wrong approach. But hi, how's it going? I'm okay. How about you? How many subscribers? Uh, you're asking like on YouTube? You're writing on YouTube? I think right now I'm at 3,000, 3,100 and something. I think the amount right now. Yeah. And on Instagram, I'm around 6,000 followers or something. So yeah, I don't have a huge following. I have some people that know my work. Like for me doing this deck of cards, and I did a whole launch for it, and it's available. So I think that helped. Okay, thanks for joining. Hmm. I have to keep my eye on this. Oh, it's better. Missing mark there. a little bit. I'm trying to push myself with this. Drawing with no previous sketch is a challenge every time you do it. You can see Kim Jong-gi doing this with freaking ease. He was a freaking master. And I been through a lot, so every now and then, as I mentioned, I lose connection to to my abilities. I have to keep them in check. Like, I know you're there, just stay with me. There we go. Anyhow, coffee cup and water. Yeah. What should I add here? I have like I don't like drawing a keyboard. Anyhow. I'm messing up. Come on, man. That's the most horrendous arm I've ever drawn. Ugh, my goodness, this is painful. I don't like this drawing. I like this. I like the dragon. I like the capybara. The other stuff, not so much. Anyhow. That's why I always keep on mentioning that sometimes you're just trying to get bad drawings out of your system. Yeah, I agree. Not my best work, definitely. I do like these markers though, quite nice. Uh, yeah, like I don't really like this drawing. Like to be honest, I don't really like it. Like the framing is wrong. Like all I can see is the that space here. To me, this is like a scratchbook thing. But I'm not the best at judging that sometimes because I tend to be really harsh on on stuff I do. Like I want the thing to be perfect, and it never is. Even if you do a good job, it's always gonna have, like, we're not machines. We're just humans. So the whole idea that AI is gonna replace us, it's nonsense. Yeah, what I'm thinking is that maybe I could add all the other stuff I haven't, like right here would be like Chihuire. Right next to it is the other one. I'm putting it to the side, but I have a Deadpool, Lego Deadpool that my sister got for me. And what else am I missing? Yeah, I cannot add the some of the stuff I have there. Let's say that I have my deck of cards. There's like a sharpener there. I'm going to remove certain things because they cover my face. So for me to add that, I would have to like make all the other stuff disappear. Cover half the drawing. Just notice that I did I did this backwards, but hey, how's it going? Like a pencil here. else? What else? Is it to the side? Yeah, I have like two paint things here. This is an exercise, definitely. Drawing all this stuff. Commonplace book. Oh, did I get disconnected? No, I'm back. Commonplace book. I'm going to look that up. Sounds interesting. Gonna add my tablet there. My tablet. Well, yeah, it's a tablet. It's not an iPad or anything like that. It's a Hawaiian. Hawaiian? I said that right? Anyway. This is the most Inception thing I could have done. Let me think about this. Dun, 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 and bum, 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 bum. think I'm way past my my time. Let's add some. I think I have. My ink is all dried out there. This is a terrible representation of it, but that's better. And oh, this is kind of a nice little detail that I can add. Don't like cables, but it's the reality of it all is that you're gonna deal with them regardless. So much stuff. Yeah, these markers are really nice. If I had more money, good night. If I had more money, I'll get a bunch of different markers for me to test, but limited budget, not monetized. So yeah. Anyhow, I think I'm good for today. This could be better, but it is what it is. Um. Anyhow, don't know what I'm going to post tomorrow. To me, this is not worth it. Worth posting on social media. I don't like this drawing that much. But if you joined the stream and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, hitting that like, and all that good stuff. It's free for you and it helps me a bunch. And to keep going with all this, I have an illustrated deck of cards that you can find on my website. I also have a Redbubble shop where you can find merch with my illustrations in them. And what else I have? I have foam backgrounds on my website as well. If you want to check that out, they're super cheap, so you can get one of those there. Anyhow, I'll be ending the stream, so let me see something here. I just look for my music. Yeah. Alright. I hope to see you next time. Bye.